Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by. Welcome to Alibaba Group's June quarter 2023 results conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a Q&A session. I would now like to turn the call over to Rob Lin, Head of Investor Relations of Alibaba Group. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and good day, everyone. Welcome to Alibaba Group's June quarter 2023 results conference call. With us today are Daniel Zhang, Chairman and CEO, Joe Tsai, Executive Vice Chairman, Toby Xu, Chief Financial Officer. We have also invited Trudy, the CEO of Taobao and Tmall Group, to join the call. This call is also being webcasted from the IR section of our corporate website. A replay of the call will be available on our website later today. Let me quickly cover the safe harbor. Today's discussion may contain forward-looking statements, including without limitation statements about the outlook of our businesses and our reorganization. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results to differ materially from our current expectations. For detailed discussion of these risks and uncertainties, please refer to our latest annual report on Form 20-F and other documents filed with the U.S. SEC, or announced on the website of Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Any forward-looking statement that we make on this call are based on assumption as of today, and we do not undertake any obligation to update these statements, except as required under applicable law. Please note that certain financial measures that we use on this call, such as adjusted EBITDA, adjusted EBITDA margin, adjusted EBITDA margin, non-GAAP net income, non-GAAP diluted earnings per share or ADS, and free cash flow, are expressed on a non-GAAP basis. Our GAAP result and reconciliations of GAAP to non-GAAP measure can be found in our earnings press release. Unless otherwise stated, growth rate of all stated metrics mentioned during this call refers to year-over-year growth versus the same quarter last year. With that, I will now turn to Daniel.
Thanks, Rob. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our earnings call today. We started the fiscal year with a robust quarter. The latest macro data indicates some uncertainties in the pace of post-COVID recovery. But as economic and consumer activities continue to resume, our businesses demonstrated encouraging trends, economics resilience, confidence in a consumption recovery, and the significant potential from an integrated development of the digital economy and the real economy. The solid quarter also showed promising early results of our reorganization, which is beginning to unleash new energy across our businesses. Our revenue reached 234 billion RMB, grow at 14% year-over-year, and the growth was achieved across our different business segments. Our adjusted EBITDA increased 32% year-over-year to 45.4 billion RMB, showing progress in our continued focus on operating efficiency and the quality of operation. Next, I will go through the results of each of our major businesses. First, let me invite Trudy to share the Taobao and Tmall Group updates.
大家好，我是戴珊。
Greetings, everybody. This is Trudy, and it's my pleasure to speak with you again. In the just concluded June quarter, under our Putting Users First strategy, the Taobao app's user base has been put on a rapid track of growth. From April of this fiscal year, the average number of DAUs each month has grown by 6% or higher year-over-year. Last month, July, growth was over 7%. Based on third-party data, our DAU leadership in the e-commerce space continues to widen. More and more users are choosing to use the Taobao app. At the same time, our building a prosperous ecosystem and realizing technology-driven innovation strategies are also starting to yield results. Since we launched the Value for Money Battle this fiscal year, we've seen a very clear trend of merchant growth on Taobao and Tmall. In the June quarter, we onboarded a large number of new merchants, a significant portion of whom quickly started contributing to that value for money battle, winning over and converting users. So our value for money battle will continue and will be an area of major investment. We need to give users the experience of good merchandise is not expensive on Taobao and Tmall, and we need to guide merchants to enhance value for money in order to achieve business scale growth and long-term stable returns. In fact, we saw initial evidence of this in the June quarter. Merchant confidence in doing business on our platform increased significantly, and merchant spending also grew, with an increase of over 20% in the daily average number of merchants paying for advertising. This all goes to show that more and more merchants are taking Taobao and Tmall as their first choice platform for stable operation of long-term business. As for realizing technology-driven innovation, we've already upgraded merchant tools with AI, enabling merchants to open stores, launch new products, operate their businesses, and conduct marketing campaigns with much greater efficiency, and helping to optimize store display and product descriptions, thereby significantly enhancing the shopping experience for users. As a result of these strategies, the Taobao and Tmall group recorded close to 80 billion RMB in CMR this quarter, a year-over-year increase of 10%. Within that, we saw very strong willingness to invest among merchants coming to Taobao and Tmall from other platforms. As for the platform itself, we continue to be committed to reducing costs and raising efficiency. We'll spend where it makes sense to, and we'll save where we can. As a result, despite our huge investments in users in the value for money battle and in AI, the Taobao and Tmall group recorded a 9.1 year-on-year increase in adjusted EBITDA in the June quarter, slightly lower than CMR growth. Also, during the just concluded 618 Taobao and Tmall Shopping Festival, we achieved a two-wheel drive effect of user scale and purchasing power. The data show that within the two factors that drove GMV growth during 618, growth in number of paid orders and an average order size was remarkably similar. So that means that the contribution of each of those two factors was balanced. On the one hand, the number of 88 VIP members and GMV both grew by double digits year over year. And on the other hand, as part of our value for money battle, during this year's 618, we launched for the first time a Taobao Good Price Festival, marking the first time in the history of 618 that there was a dedicated promotion channel for Taobao merchants. This Taobao Good Price Festival proved effective in promoting value for money offerings and in attracting more users from lower tier cities and young users to visit and also to make purchases. So, if I were to sum up the June quarter in one sentence, I would say our three strategies of putting users first, building a prosperous ecosystem, and realizing technology-driven innovation are starting to yield results. Throughout the remainder of the fiscal year, we will continue to implement these three key strategies. Specifically, first, we will do our utmost to meet the needs of diverse groups of Chinese consumers and to satisfy their demands around shopping, around consumption, and also around daily life. To do that, we will continue to invest heavily in developing content around shopping, consumption, and daily life. Second, we will also continue to invest heavily in the value for money battle in two different ways. On the one hand, we will continue, in line with our mission, to support small and medium merchants with targeted programs, such as those for merchants in industrial clusters and for new SME merchants. And in parallel, we will build a more advanced, open, and inclusive merchant ecosystem and attract more merchants to engage in the value for money battle, so as to create a virtuous cycle on Taobao and Tmall of merchant ecosystem, revenue growth, stronger profitability, and that is precisely what our mission has always been. Third, we'll continue to invest in AI. It is our conviction that technology creates commercial value. Taobao and Tmall have the largest collection of merchants and of merchandise on the internet and are the most fertile soil anywhere on the internet to explore AI applications. Hence, in this technological revolution, the Taobao app has the greatest potential to become a one-stop smart portal for life and consumption enabled by AI, satisfying the broadest variety of diverse needs across our huge base of 1 billion users. At Alibaba, we often say seeing is believing. I'm confident as CEO that over this 3-year management cycle, with the execution of these 3 key strategies, the Taobao and Tmall group will create a virtuous investment cycle from investment in users and user growth, leading to merchant growth, leading to transaction growth, further leading to revenue and profit growth, and feeding back into further investment in users and user growth. Along the way, even though there will likely be occasional months with volatility or setbacks in our operations, under the leadership of the Taobao and Tmall Group's board of directors and management team, we will remain firmly committed to our 3 key strategies, to continuing to invest in users, providing strong support for merchants, and upgrading our platform with technology for the long term, and we're fully confident in the results we will achieve for the long term. Thank you very much.
Now I will share the updates on our other major businesses. Alibaba International Digital Commerce Group, AIDC, delivered 41% overall revenue growth this quarter, and its retail business achieved 60% revenue growth year-over-year. This was driven by solid order growth of our international retail marketplaces at around 25% year-over-year growth. Advertising revenue growth because of enhancement of our monetization and higher direct sales revenue contribution as AliExpress expands its new choice model. Lazada also delivered a rapid order growth based on its differentiated country strategy, accelerating progress in high priority markets such as Philippines and Thailand. In Turkey, Trendyol continued to maintain its growth momentum and market leadership. We are starting to see economics of scale in our international retail businesses as enhancing monetization and operating efficiency reduced adjusted EBITDA loss. AIDC's adjusted EBITDA loss decreased by 70% year-over-year during the quarter. Looking ahead, we will continue to expand the choice model, leverage the capabilities of an integrated cross-border supply chain, and enhanced consumer experience with higher certainty in logistics and service level. This plan is to expand the choice model from AliExpress to certain of our other retail platforms, with upgrading our product and services, especially in providing a better localized experience. During the quarter, revenue from local service group grew 30% year-over-year, driven by strong combined order growth across both Ele.me and Amap. Amap's daily active users and the 2 destination services expanded due to the strong recovery in commuting and travel demand after the pandemic measures were lifted. With a long-term strategic focus on technology leadership, Amap released new product features such as traffic light countdown and tunnel navigation during the quarter, which were well received by its users. Its market share in map navigation services continued to expand. During the quarter, Ele.me focused on investing in its own service capability enhancement and a more inclusive partnership strategy, which helped sustain healthy order growth while maintaining positive unit economics. Taobao's revenue during the quarter grew 34% year-over-year, primarily driven by the volume increase of international fulfillment solution services, mailing survey AliExpress, and the China domestic consumer logistics services. Cainiao's adjusted EBITDA of the quarter was 877 million RMB due to the continued focus on quality of operation and the lower transportation costs as international air cargo price came down. Looking ahead, Cainiao will continue to invest in build logistic network for cross-border and domestic parcels, and leveraging Alibaba's multiple digital commerce use cases to expand its network effect. Cainiao will also share part of its savings from its operating efficiency improvement and the transportation cost reduction with its customers through price strategy adjustments, and pursue higher economics of scale on a larger revenue base. During the quarter, Alibaba Cloud revenue grew 4% year-over-year. The growth rate was negatively impacted by the normalization of CDN demand, as usage of video streaming, remote working, and remote learning came down when offline activities resumed after pandemic measures were lifted. The growth rate was also partially impacted by revenue decline from a top customer. In the past quarter, we have received strong demand for model training and related AI services on cloud infrastructure, which were only partially fulfilled due to the near-term supply chain constraints globally. We believe the growth opportunity driven by AI services have just begun. We believe that technology evolution brought by AI is not a short-term opportunity, but the beginning of a new era. As one of the world's leading cloud service provider, we will continue to invest in forming a full-stack product and technology leadership across IaaS, PaaS, and MaaS layer. This is key for us in capturing AI opportunity and sets a differentiating advantage for Ali Cloud versus other players in China, which mainly focus on one of the layers. We will leverage and expand this advantage when serving the needs of our customers, including training and service needs for large language startups, as well as industry demands for customized models and vertical models. We believe the high performance and the low-cost computing power required for model training and services will open up brand new opportunities for cloud computing services. Over the long term, Alibaba Cloud will benefit from the application of AI in all industries. In the MaaS layer, we have built ModelScope, a leading open source online community in China for models and the related tools and services, which is very popular among developers. The community hosted over 1,000 AI models, including Meta's recently released Llama 2 and our own open source model. The 7 billion parameter version of Tongyi Qianwen. We believe the aggregation and engagement of a model ecosystem will significantly help developers optimize their model and use services on Alibaba Cloud. Since April, we released our own large language model Tongyi Qianwen, audio-to-text transcription platform Tongyi Tingwu, and text-to-image model Tongyi Wanxiang, which together have accumulated millions of users. In this quarter, Alibaba Cloud's adjusted EBITDA reached 387 million RMB, representing year-over-year growth of 106%. This is mainly due to the reduced co-location and bandwidth cost of DingTalk as a result of normalized usage after the pandemic, as well as enhanced product mix and efficiency improvement. For example, server utilization in our cloud business. We will continue to focus on quality of operation. And as we continue to scale up, we will work to achieve economics of scale that will deliver long-term operating benefits and contribute to our profitability. Our digital media and entertainment business group delivered 36% revenue growth year-over-year, and the first ever quarter of profitability. This was a result of the following factors. Number one, Youku's growth in subscription revenue. Number two, higher revenue contribution from Damai and the Taobao, which both benefited from the recovery of offline shows and the cinemas after the pandemic. Number three, Alibaba Pictures' launch of several blockbusters and the robust China box office demand during the quarter. Going forward, we will continue to improve our content production capabilities and enhance DME's business operating results through high-quality content creation and distribution. In July, we published our fiscal year 2023 ESG report. Over the past year, we have made progress across the 7 strategic dimensions of social responsibility, especially in restoring our green planet. We achieved solid emission reduction under Scope 1, 2, and 3. We drove emission reduction across our business ecosystem, which was roughly equivalent to the total annual greenhouse gas emissions of 1 million average household in China. Leveraging our unique position connecting consumers and merchants, our product innovation Carbon 88 Legend platform enables our customers and merchants to join the carbon saving efforts across our ecosystem. Following the announcement of our 1+6+N reorganization in March, the 6 business groups have started operating in a new way under the leadership of their respective boards. The past quarter's solid performance was also a reflection of early results of this change, and further enhanced our confidence towards the future. As part of the new governance framework, we are also further strengthening the company's capital management, moving ahead with our various programs to improve shareholder return under the leadership of the newly established Capital Management Committee. The capital market projects we announced last quarter are all underway, and we have also been continuing share repurchase activities in the market. We will keep you updated on the progress in the future. Lastly, this will be the 36th earnings call I have participated since our IPO in 2014, and the final one as Chairman and CEO of Alibaba Group. It truly has been a privilege of a lifetime to lead the company as CEO on our 3 strategies of consumption, cloud computing, and globalization since 2015, and be a part of Alibaba's high growth period. As chairman, it was an extraordinary experience to take on the challenges brought on by the pandemic and unprecedented change in the macro environment over the past 4 years. This has been an invaluable life experience. I sincerely thank our shareholders and analysts for your trust and support over the years. This quarter is a culmination of my 8-year leadership of Alibaba and the start of my new journey. I hope you continue to support Joe and Eddie and the new management team. As Cloud Intelligence Group moves towards becoming a public company, I look forward to re-engaging with everyone in my new role in the journey ahead. Thank you, everyone. Now I will pass to Toby to go through the financial updates.
Thank you, Daniel. Due to the strong business momentum and our focus on operating efficiency across businesses, we achieved a robust financial performance in the past quarter. Total consolidated revenue was RMB 234.2 billion, an increase of 14%. Consolidated adjusted EBITDA increased by RMB 11 billion, or 32%, to RMB 45.4 billion in the quarter due to improvements across all business segments. Non-GAAP diluted earnings per share was RMB 2.17, an increase of 48%. Additionally, during the quarter, we repurchased $3.1 billion worth of our shares, which accounted for 1.4% of total shares outstanding. This is supported by our continuous generation of strong free cash flow. During the quarter, free cash flow was RMB 39.1 billion, or $5.4 billion, an increase of 76% year-over-year. Our strong free cash flow and balance sheet continue to put us in an excellent position to strengthen our competitiveness and capture new opportunities. Now let's look at cost trends as a percentage of revenue excluding SBC. Cost of revenue ratio excluding SBC decreased 1 percentage point to 61% during this quarter. Product development expense ratio decreased 1 percentage point to 4% during this quarter. Sales and marketing expense ratio remained stable at 12% in this quarter. And general administrative expenses ratio remained stable at 4% in this quarter. Our net income was RMB 33 billion, an increase of RMB 12.7 billion compared to the same quarter last year. The increase was primarily attributable to the increase in income from operations and the increase in share of results of equity method investees, partly offset by the net losses arising from the decrease in market prices of our equity investments in public traded companies, compared to net gains from these investments in the same quarter last year. As of June 30, 2023, we continue to maintain a strong net cash position of RMB 419.2 billion, or $57.8 billion. Free cash flow this quarter was RMB 39.1 billion, an increase of 76%. The increase reflected an improvement on profitability and a decrease in capital expenditure. Now let's look at the segment results. Starting this quarter, we have implemented a new organizational and governance structure, under which we now have 6 major business groups and various other businesses. Accordingly, our segment reporting has been updated to reflect our reorganization. Under our updated segment reporting, segment revenue and adjusted EBITDA are presented before consolidation adjustments. We have also provided revenue and adjusted EBITDA trend of each business groups for the last 5 consecutive quarters in the appendix of the earnings presentation for easy reference. Now let's look at the Taobao and Tmall Group. The user-first strategy of Taobao Tmall Group is yielding positive user growth momentum and improving user retention on Taobao app, which we have supported strong revenue growth and successful June 18th shopping festival during the quarter. Revenue for Taobao and Tmall Group was RMB 115 billion, an increase of 12%. Customer management revenue increased by 10% to RMB 79.7 billion, primarily due to increase in number of paying merchants, increasing merchants' willingness to invest in advertising on our platform, and increase in online physical GMV, excluding unpaid orders. Direct sales and others revenue
increased 21% to RMB 30.2 billion, primarily due to strong sales driven by the consumer electronic category. Taobao and Tmall Group adjusted EBITDA increased by 9% to RMB 49.3 billion. The increase was primarily due to the increase in profit from customer management service and the narrowing losses in certain businesses, which was partially offset by Taobao Tmall Group's investments in growing Taobao app users that has resulted in increasing DAU of 6.5%. Alibaba International Digital Commerce Group revenue was RMB 22.1 billion, an increase of 41%. Revenue from international commerce retail business increased by 60% to RMB 17.1 billion. The increase was primarily due to solid performance of all major retail platforms and improvements in monetization. Revenue from our international commerce wholesale business remained stable at RMB 5 billion compared to the same quarter last year. AIDC's adjusted EBITDA loss narrowed by RMB 960 million to a loss of RMB 420 million in June quarter. Losses significantly narrowed year over year, primarily because of improved margins of Trendyol and Lazada, partly offset by the increase in investments in new businesses such as Miravia and AliExpress Choice. Trendyol continued to deliver strong order growth in both of its e-commerce and the local consumer service businesses. Through robust revenue growth and a continuing improvement in operating efficiency, for the first time, Trendyol achieved positive operating results during the quarter. The reduced loss from Lazada is primarily due to improvement in monetization. Local Services Group revenue in June quarter grew 30% to RMB 14.5 billion, primarily due to robust GMV growth of Ele.me and the rapid order growth of AMAP. Local Service Group adjusted EBITDA was a loss of RMB 2 billion this quarter, compared to a loss of RMB 2.8 billion in the same quarter last year, reflecting the continued narrowing of losses driven by Ele.me's order growth and the positive unit economics per order, as well as rapid order growth of AMAP driven by market demand. Total revenue from Cainiao grew 34% to RMB 23.2 billion, primarily contributed by the increase in revenue from international fulfillment solution services and domestic consumer logistics services. Cainiao adjusted EBITDA was a profit of RMB 877 million compared to a loss of RMB 185 million in the same quarter last year. Profitability turned positive year over year, primarily because of improved operating results from international fulfillment solution services and domestic consumer logistics services. Revenue from Cloud Intelligence Group was RMB 25.1 billion in June quarter, an increase of 4%. The revenue growth was mainly driven by Alibaba consolidated businesses and the customers within financial services, education, electric power, and automobile industries, partly offset by our proactive efforts to manage revenue from project-based cloud services. Cloud's adjusted EBITDA was increased by 106% to RMB 387 million, primarily due to reduced co-location and bandwidth costs of DingTalk as a result of normalization of usage as compared to the same quarter last year. Revenue from our DME group was RMB 5.4 billion, an increase of 36%, primarily driven by growth of online entertainment business, as well as a strong recovery of offline entertainment business. Adjusted EBITDA recorded a profit of RMB 63 million compared to a loss of RMB 907 million. The improved adjusted EBITDA was mainly due to the increase in revenue from Alibaba Pictures and Damai. Revenue from all other segments increased slightly by 1% to RMB 45.5 billion, primarily due to the revenue growth contributed by Alibaba Health, Fliggy, Freshapple, and the Intelligent Information Platform, partly offset by the decrease in revenue from Sunna due to decrease in ticket size resulted from the decrease in customer stockpiling behavior compared to the same quarter last year. Adjusted EBITDA from all other segments was a loss of RMB 1.2 billion compared to a loss of RMB 2.3 billion in the same quarter last year, primarily due to improved operating results from Freshapple, Lingxi Games, and Fliggy. Thank you, and that's the end of our prepared remarks. We can open up for Q&A.
On today's call, you are welcome to ask questions in Chinese or English. A third-party translator will provide consecutive interpretations for the Q&A session. Please note that the translation is for convenience purpose only. In the case of any discrepancy, a management statement in the original language will prevail. If you are unable to hear the Chinese translation, bilingual transcript of this call will be available on our website within 1 week after the meeting. 大家好，今天的电话会议欢迎您用中文或英文提问，我们会有第三方工作人员提供实时的翻译。翻译的目的是方便大家理解，如有任何疑义，请以我们管理层原始的语言所做的陈述为准。如您无法听到中文翻译，本次电话会议的双语记录将会在会议结束后的1周内在我们的官网上提供。Operator, please connect the speaker and SI conference line now. Please start the Q&A session when ready. Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star then 1 on your telephone keypad. To withdraw your request, please press star then 2. To give more people the opportunity to ask questions, please keep yourself to no more than 1 question at a time. Your first question comes from Ronald Keung with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Joe, Daniel, Toby, Trudy, and Rob. Can management share just how have broader consumption trends been tracking after a pretty strong June 18 shopping festival? And following on that, within the Taobao Tmall group, besides the DAU, DAC metrics that are KPIs, how are we thinking about the balance between Taobao Tmall's, for example, other metric, which is market share, versus our Taobao Tmall group, say, absolute profit level, if we think of it on a 3-year horizon? Thank you.
好，非常的感谢管理层。那么想要知道的是，经过这一次表现非常不错的618以后，那么618以后这个消费的总体趋势怎样？这是一个。另外的话呢，就是淘天集团这边除了是作为KPI 的这些指标，像日活用户这些指标以外，你们如何考虑就是平衡其他的一些这个指标比如说是市场份额，还有就是未来的这个盈利水平，比如说在3年的期间内怎么考虑？谢谢。
好，谢谢。那我先回答第一个问题，就是关于消费趋势。那我们也看到，就是在整个中国的经济其实也是一个缓慢复苏的过程。那中国政府也是做了大量的投入到提升消费上面。那回到刚才提问的，就是关于我们市场份额盈利。那我还是想说，市场份额和盈利能力，其实要回到就是我们的3个战略，就是用户为先、生态繁荣和科技驱动。那我始终相信，就是更多的用户规模会带来更多的商家，然后这是一个双向循环，然后更多商家的生意增长会让我们获得更多的收入。那我们也会把更多的收入会继续投在 用户的规模和体验上面。
Thanks for those questions. Let me start with your first question about consumption trends. Indeed, as we've seen, there is a gradual recovery underway in the Chinese economy, and the Chinese government indeed has made many efforts to stimulate economic growth and drive consumption. When it comes to the other KPIs you asked about, market share and profitability, I think that comes down to the three key strategies we're pursuing around growing user scale, building a prosperous ecosystem, and realizing technology-driven innovation. We're looking at creating a virtuous investment cycle by investing in users and user growth, leading to merchant growth, driving higher revenues, and then being able to further reinvest in growing users and user scale. So that's the positive cycle we'll be creating.
然后我们也会看到，就是面向未来依然会存在不确定性。那面对不确定性和波动性，我们越加坚信，就是用户和商家的增长会是最确定要做的。那我对未来是非常坚定和乐观，只要保持用户规模和商家规模的双领先的优势，我们投入一定会在中长期带来收入和利润更大的增长空间。
Looking into the future, there certainly will be uncertainties ahead of us on this road. But I think faced with all these uncertainties and potential volatility, the greatest certainty we have is the need to continue to grow our user scale and our merchant scale. And we are very optimistic that as long as we can maintain our leadership in terms of user and merchant scale, that the mid to long term view of profitability and market share will be excellent. Thank you.
Next question.
Thank you. Your next question comes from Alicia Yap with Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, management. Thanks for taking my questions, and thank you, Daniel, and all the best for your new journey. 我的问题是关于这个。我们看到的这个 DAU 的增长6.5%， 还有这个88VIP 会员的支出也有2位数的增长。想请管理层其实给我们多分享一下更多的一些信息，譬如说这些新的用户，我们这个季度看到的是从哪些渠道过来的？然后是大部分都是从低线城市过来的呢？然后我们新获取的这些用户跟我们现有的用户的消费能力和意愿能够跟我们分享跟比较一下嘛？然后对于我们88 VIP 会员这个很好的增长就是管理层觉得这个是从他们的消费更频繁，还是说他们对于一些比较大的一些比如说 big ticket item 比较大的这种消费的一些品类的驱动？然后管理层觉得这个趋势我们是一直持续到这个7月份都是看到同样的趋势嘛？最后也想就是管理层跟我们分享一下，就是说现在的这个目标因为整个经济其实还是有比较疲软，然后我们对于我们能够实现这个目标能够大概就是协调一下，就是对于现在经济的情况，然后我们实现这个目标的这个方向的一些准确性谢谢。
Good evening, and thank you, management, for taking my question, and thank you to Daniel, and congratulations to you and all the best on your new journey. So looking at the excellent growth numbers you've reported in DAUs and also in 88 VIP members, double-digit growth there, I'm wondering if management could give us a little more detailed information on what lies behind those numbers. For example, in terms of new users, where are they coming from? How are they being acquired? Are they mostly coming from lower tier cities? And how do those new users compare with existing users in terms of their willingness to spend and their spending power? And when we look at the 88 VIP members and the growth there. What's primarily driving that? And are we looking more at a higher frequency of purchase that they're making, or is it more purchases they're making of big ticket items in some categories? And then looking at these trends, do you think they'll continue on into July? And then finally, I'm just wondering, given the weakness that remains in the economy, how accurate do you think our forecasts are of trends going forward and our ability to realize our objectives?
好，谢谢。刚才第一个问题就是关于 DAU 之间来的用户的一个是不是有构成的一个变化的情况。那从我们来看呢，其实我们的价格力战役，其实在我们服务好更多的就是性价比需求的用户上，其实在我们过去是有比较大的一个收益的。
Thank you. I'll start with your first question on the increase in DAUs and where new users are coming from. And I would firstly say that our value for money battle, we've been investing in developing value for money offerings has very much been paying off.
然后在那个上个季度电话会议上，我们也提到了我们的3大战略。
At the last earnings call, we discussed our 3 key strategies.
那大家从6月季度看到的取得比较好的成果呢，主要以下几个原因，我也跟大家做一下分享。
So there are several reasons underlying the good performance that you've seen in the June quarter, and I will set out a few of them for you below.
一个呢是宏观经济的影响，的确消费是在逐步缓慢的复苏的，然后线上零售的渗透率也是在稳步的提升。
First is improvement in the macroeconomic environment and recommencement of consumption, coupled with higher penetration of online purchasing within retail.
然后我们实施了价格力战役，构建平台，提供了好货好价的能力，然后撬动了很多丰富性的性价比商品，因此也吸引了更多消费者的到来，购买用户的转化也在变好。那从购买用户的组成上，会看到下沉用户以及年轻用户还有年长用户的增长是比较快速的。
Secondly, we're starting to see payoff from our investments in this value for money battle, bringing to the market an increasing assortment of good items at good prices, developing that supply and attracting users with this proposition. And we are indeed seeing among paying users an increasing proportion of new users coming from lower tier cities, or being young people or being older consumers.
然后从618的数据来看，我们也看到几个大的消费趋势，因为刚才有问到88 VIP 会员的销售是用户和订单之间频率之间的关系。
Looking at the numbers from this year's 618 Shopping Festival, we see several trends there that will also help to answer your question about the 88 VIP members and the proportion of sales to those members.
我们能够看到用户的性价比需求其实越来越高，然后参与程度也越来越高，所以在618其实吸引了很多年轻群体的主动来访和购买。
Again, we've seen strong interest on the part of users in value for money offerings, and in the 618 Shopping Festival, we've certainly seen a lot of new young consumers coming to take part.
另外一个消费驱动是在新品，今年618超过300万款品牌新品是在天猫首发的，带动了家电、家装、服饰、美妆等的销售的提升。
Another driver of sales this year has been the launch of new products, with 3 million new brands being launched by products on Tmall at this year's 618, driving significant sales in consumer electronics, appliances, apparel, and other categories.
所以回到刚才的话题，就是88 VIP 的高端用户，其实会受到新品驱动和更丰富的供给来驱动。
So coming back to the 88 VIP members, what we see certainly is they're attracted by those new products that are being launched, as well as by the broadened assortment of quality offerings.
Okay, next question.
Thank you. Your next question comes from Gary Yu with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you management for the opportunity. I have one question related to cloud and a follow-up on AI. Just wanted to check when do we expect to see cloud revenue grow to kind of further accelerate to a higher level, given there appears to be some reluctancy for corporate to spend on IT spending. And a related question on AI is, given the fast adoptions of our AI offerings that we have launched recently, how should we look at the timeline and roadmap from a regulatory and also monetization standpoint? Thank you.
谢谢管理层。我提一个问题是关于云这一方面，那么还有一个补充问题是关于 AI 这一方面的。那么想要知道就是说什么时候云业务的这个收入可以开始更快速的提升。因为我们似乎看到很多大公司它最近不是特别愿意在 IT 这个上面花很多的钱。那么另外的话就是知道公司最近是推出了很多人工智能 AI 的这个产品，那么大概你们考虑按什么样的一个时间表来就是扩大这一方面的一个业务，包括这个监管方面包括这个就是可以变现这个取得盈利这一方面的一个时间表，能讲一下吗？
Yeah, I think if you look at the cloud landscape in China, I think the total cloud infra as percentage of the IT infra still in a lower, actually in a relatively low percentage as compared to the U.S. peers. So we see still the huge potential first in this cloud infra penetration. Secondly, I think with this AI revolution, I think this bring incremental opportunities, and because today all the companies want to use the AI capabilities to upgrade their services and in their own application. So, but they need a high performance computing power to support this operation, not only in today's training but also in the inference services to be provided. So I think these two are, we believe, the primary growth engine for the long term.
好，谢谢。那么如果看一下当前中国这个云产业的一个现状，那么实际上在中国来讲，这个云这一方面的支出占总体 IT 的支出这个百分率还是偏低的，尤其是就是相比美国同业而言是偏低的。因此我们认为呢，在这个云基础设施的这个渗透方面依然存在巨大的潜力。那么第二就是关于现在的人工智能 AI 的这个革命。这个也是一个增量的机会，就是各行各业所有的公司，他们都会希望利用人工智能来提升他们的服务，但是呢，这个是离不开他们要利用大量的高性能的这个算力，不仅是用于现阶段模型的训练，还要用于支撑以后他们提供的这个各种的服务因此的话呢，我们认为这个是一个非常重要的长期的一个带动增长的引擎。
Yeah, if you look at our own performance, I think right now we are taking some time to digest some impact from the from the decline of the demand post pandemic, as we said in our script. For example, for many services relating to remote work, remote education, as well as the online streaming, the demand obviously is lower post-pandemic, which I think is a very important factor to drag our growth rate. And also we also have some impact from the decline demand from one of the top customers. So I think we still need some time to digest this. We also making some proactive measures to make sure we focus on public cloud growth and focus on high quality cloud service growth. So I think with this the right sales structure and customer profile, we are in a better position. We'll be in a better position to have a long-term sustainable growth.
那么如果来看一下我们自身的这个业绩的话呢，应该说我们还在逐步的消化就是疫情后需求这个减少的这种影响。你比如说无论是远程办公还是在线教育，还是这个线上这个看视频等这些方面的需求呢，那么显然是比疫情期间这个来的更低一些。那么这个是影响我们增速的一个重要的因素。那么还有就是我们也还在消化呢某个头部客户需求的这个减少，那么这些都需要时间去完全消化。那么与此同时呢，我们也在采取主动的这个措施来就是聚焦于呢公共云，还有就是高质量这个云服务的这个增长。那么有了恰当的这个销售的这个结构和客户的这个结构，可以使我们未来就是更能够捕捉到这个长期可持续增长的势头。
Yeah, for the second question, how to monetize this AI opportunity, I think the answer is very straightforward. It's like as a cloud service provider, our best monetization model is to have all the AI companies, all the models using Alibaba Cloud Infra, our high performance, low cost computing power to do their AI. So I think while we do our foundational model in Ali Cloud and deploy this and deploy it on our cloud infra, is to not only just run our own model, is to help our cloud industry partners to use this foundational model to build to do their fine tune, to build their own model in their vertical industries and in their own customized applications. So I think this is for us, I think this is a huge opportunity, and I think we would do everything we can to make sure we provide best in class services to help these new generations of innovation to be occurred on our cloud infra. Thank you.
那么第二个问题是关于这个如何可以从这个人工智能这个 AI 的机会当中来进行变现。那么我想这个是很清楚的，就是说我们要让作为这个云服务的提供商，我们要让所有的这些AI 的公司和他们的模型来使用我们阿里云可提供的这个低成本高性能的这些基础设施包括使用我们的这个基础模型把这个基础模型呢是部署在我们阿里云的这个基础设施之上。那么不仅是我们自己在用，而且可以帮助我们的合作伙伴呢，可以利用我们的基础模型去进行很多的这个细调微调，然后可以适应他们自身的这个行业，或者是帮他们做个性化的这个专属的这个应用。所以对我们来说这是一个巨大的机会，我们也一定会这个尽我们最大的这个努力来提供这个全行业最佳的这种服务，帮助呢各行各业的这些公司来利用我们的基础设施，利用我们的这些模型来开展新一代AI 的应用。
Just to add one more point, which is when we talk about this ecosystem, and we strongly believe in this AI new era, there is a new ecosystem is generating, is incubating. So that's why we do a lot to grow our model community, model scope, to make sure all the relevant models, all the good models in the market, not only from Alibaba, vast majority of them are from the ecosystem, to make all the models available for the developers, for the industry partners. And we provide tools, applications to help them to use these models. And a lot of them are open source models, as I said in my script. And from our side, will continue our efforts to upgrade our model and also continue our open source strategy for the models. And the more people use models, then the more people will use computing power. That's the short answer. Thank you.
另外想补充说明一下，这是关于生态系统这一方面，我们认为步入全新的AI 的时代，有一种全新的生态系统在形成，在孵化。所以对于我们来说，我们在做很多的工作来这个夯实和发展好这样的这个社区，让所有的好的模型，就包括阿里本身的这些模型，但其实有非常多的模型是来自于这个生态系统的，让所有这些模型都是开发者他们能够用的，然后我们也会就是提供各种工具和应用，帮助他们善加利用这些的这个资源，然后很多这个模型其实都是开源的，那我们阿里呢会继续不停的升级我们的模型，也会坚持我们这样子的开源的这个策略。那么总而言之呢，当有越来越多的用户在使用这些模型和资源，那么到时候对算力的这个需求会越来越大。
Next question.
Thank you. Your next question comes from Zhang with Barclays. Please go ahead.
谢谢管理层接受我的提问，我就想跟进问一下这个 AI 的问题，刚才 Daniel 回答的，我知道这个我们阿里云有统一的模型，也最近开放了2个 open source 的模型，再加上在 host 的 Meta 的 open source 的模型，那么现在这个市场呢有蛮多不确定性，那我就想请问3年5年以后，我们是觉得在中国这个 large language model 的这个 landscape 会是什么样的？哪些成功的做 foundational model 的公司会有多少家？这个 proprietary 和 open source 这个 mix 大概会怎么样？成功和失败的一些因素会是怎么样？谢谢。
Thanks. I have a follow-up question for Daniel regarding AI. We know that Alibaba has launched its Tongyi model and has recently opened up 2 additional models, and you're also hosting a model from Meta. I'm wondering if we think about the future landscape in China, say 3 to 5 years down the road, what that landscape will look like, how many foundational models will have proven successful, what will the mix look like as between proprietary versus open source models at that time, and what will be the factors that will contribute to the success or failure of these different competitors in that period.
好，这个是很好的问题啊，也是一个很难回答的问题，因为在这么一个新的时代到来的时候，很难对未来这个3、5年进行预测。其实大家在这个行业大家都知道，最近大家都是以月为单位在观察和这个跟进这个变化啊，这个所以变化非常快啊，很多的新事物都在发生。
Well, thanks. That's an excellent set of questions, and as difficult to answer as they are excellent. You know, we're standing at the advent of a new era, an unprecedented new era where things are moving so fast that most people look at things in intervals of 1 month and track changes month by month. So it's extremely difficult to talk about what the future will be like 3 to 5 years out.
讲一讲我自己的一些观察和这个理解判断啊，我觉得今天做大模型的公司这个也不少在中国啊，但是我想往后走无非是两条路，一条路我想是就像阿里选择的一样，因为我们是一个跟云在一起，所以我们会坚持这个把这个大模型按照一个这个不断的进展以后，不断的进行开放啊，包括开源啊，能够让更多的人来使用这个基础模型。既然是基础的，它就必须是普惠的啊，这个所以它要让更多的开发者来使用啊。我想这个是一种方向，一种道路。那还有一种道路就是从这个基础模型入手，但是实际上还是对某些领域有 focus 就是注重于在某些 domain 里边去去耕耘，这取决于这样的这个相关的这个企业的它对这个领域的数据的质量和规模和洞察力我想在这样的情况下，它一定会会有一批这样的一个 AI 的企业其实说是说从大模型起家，但很快就进入到特定领域特定的这样的一个知识体的建设、智慧体的建设我想这个是能看到的两种趋势。
Perhaps I can share with you my own observation and thinking about some of those larger issues. Certainly, there are quite a lot of companies in China already today that are working on large language models. I think there are basically two development pathways available to these companies, broadly speaking. One is the one that Alibaba has chosen because we are a cloud provider. So we developed these large language models, and as we evolve them, we continue to open them up, make them available, even go open source with them to get more people to use them. So we're providing foundational models that are intended to be of universal application to benefit the broadest swath of the community, making them available to developers to develop applications building on them. But at the same time, there will also be some players in this market who, although they're starting out developing foundational models, will very quickly start to focus on a few particular domains where they have expertise. Of course, these will be domains where to succeed, they'll need to have a lot of high-quality data as well as deep insight into that data. But some companies will start by developing those foundational models, but quickly move into developing specific applications. So that's foreseeable.
对，但是其实从严格意义来讲，第二种情况其实就不是大模型公司，它做的其实不是大模型做的其实是一个垂直模型所以今天其实在这个业界很难做这个区分有不同的，大家说是说都做大模型，但实际上绝大多数会走向某一个领域的真正深耕一个领域的模型。但是我想补充的是，除这两个以外，但是还有一个非常重要的是这个 AI本身它带来的不只是一个单独的 AI 的机会，它对所有的现在的 application service 都会带来一个全新的升级的机会无论是 to B 还是 to C 所以在这块上面，其实它是跟今天所有的各行各业包括各种的互联网应用服务都有关系的就像我们之前讲过的，就是说在这个时代，阿里巴巴的所有业务都值得换一个思路，用 AI 用新一代的 AI 重新做一遍。我想这个不仅适用于阿里巴巴，也适用于我想业界大家各种的行业和各种的业务，我想这也是大家的高度的共识。
Of course, those in that second category I spoke about might say today that they're working on big models or large language models, but in point of fact, I'll end up working on vertical models. But it's difficult to know today and to distinguish between the two. But another important point I would add on is that AI is not valuable just by virtue of being AI. In fact, it has tremendous potential to revolutionize all the existing applications and services that are out there across industries and sectors, including both 2C and 2B. So, if you look at all the different applications and services that exist today on the internet, all of them can be rethought and revitalized and upgraded with AI. So we say this within Alibaba. Everything we're doing, all the services we have can be rethought and redone, leveraging AI. And I think the same could be said for all players across all different industries and sectors.
Next question.
Thank you. Your next question comes from Thomas Chong with Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks management for taking my questions. I have a question regarding the international business. Given that the strong performance that we are seeing across different countries, I just want to get the thoughts from management regarding the competitive landscape in different regions and our growth strategies. And then a follow-up question on that one is really about the logistics side. Given the strong performance of China, how should we think about the synergies between China and our international business to enhance the user experience? Thank you.
好，非常感谢管理层。我想问的问题就是关于我们的国际数字商业这个集团的。那么因为我们看到不同国家这个表现都是非常的强劲，那么想要了解一下不同的这个地区，我们现在这个表现和这个战略是怎么在思考的。那么在物流方面，这个菜鸟它也是这个业绩表现非常的好。那么我们现在如何在思考，就是进一步实现中国和这个国际商业板块之间的一个协同效应，来进一步提升用户的体验。
Yeah, actually we reported a very good quarter for our AIDC, our overseas digital commerce business, and we are happy to see that our strategies after a couple quarters efforts, and we see a strong sign of success, and we strongly believe this is a sustainable trend. And as you ask, I think we are trying to find our unique position in the global market, and when we talk about global market, we have very clear target by market, by region, not only by region, also by country, because consumption is highly relevant to the culture and highly relevant to the local retail landscape. So we need to find our uniqueness, unique strength to create the real value to the customers in the destination country. Our unique advantage, of course, one of the unique advantage is the supply from China. I think a choice model just to unlock the advantage by a consolidated, integrated supply chain from end to end. So going forward, we'll continue to scale up this model, and together with the growth of the platform model, and in different markets, and we have differentiated market strategy in some businesses. We focus on cross border. This could be a main cause for some businesses, but for some other market, we focus on local to local as a main cause, plus cross border from China as a dessert. And also today make cross border from China, maybe tomorrow cross border from other countries. And also we are trying to leverage our strong coverage in China with our B2B business, because we have very successful B2B business, which basically have a very strong connection with many Chinese exporters. They are all SMEs. Some of them sell industrial products, but we have many of our exporters sell consumer products. So this could be a huge, flying wheel to integrate the supply chain from B2B to B2C. So for your second, for your question about Cainiao and AIDC, I think this quarter is a very good example, show a very good example how the synergies we can create between among the different business groups in Alibaba. So I think the strong growth of AIDC is one of the main reasons is our improved logistic and service experience together with strong performance of our logistic network. So, for example, right now we are providing 5-day global delivery, which means a global delivery within 5 days. If you can give the customers thousands of miles away, tens of thousands of miles away from China, a high certainty of the logistics experience, this could be the best user acquisition tool and user acquisition model. So if we combine these two together and see a very strong synergies, and we'll continue to do that. And on one hand is to enhance the assortment strategies and to make sure we have the right supply. Second, to enhance the logistic and service standard and capability, and to make sure customers can have their good experience. If they have a good experience in their first few try, they will be with us. I think they have because with a good experience, right, the price point from China supply has a unique strength in the world.
好，确实本季度国际商业数字商业集团的 AIDC 这个业绩表现是非常好。那么我们也非常开心，就是看到过去几个季度我们所做的努力和实施的战略，现在是取得良好的这个效果。而且我们认为这个势头呢是可以延续下去的。没有错，我们在世界不同的市场，我们就是努力在寻找自己独特的这个定位。而且不光是在不同的区域，还包括具体在不同的国家，因为消费这个行业它是和当地的文化息息相关，还有与当地本国的零售业的这个格局息息相关的。因此的话呢，我们需要找到自己独特的这个优势，来为当地的消费者提供独特的这个价值。那么当然作为阿里来讲，我们一个很重要的独特的优势就是中国的这个供给。那我们现在推出的这个 choice choice 模式，等于是释放出了这方面的一个优势，就是利用我们端到端一体化的这个物流履约的这个系统，来就是让国际上的这些消费者，他可以享受到非常好的这个中国的这个供给，以及非常好的这个履约的一个体验。那还有一个机会就是但是在有些国家呢我们是重点推这个跨境业务。这个是主菜。那么在另外一些国家的话呢，我们是一个本地对本地 local to local 的模型作为主菜，然后这是这个中国跨境这个是作为这个甜品。那么明天可能是来自其他国家不光是中国的跨境业务。那么还有一个就是我们在中国这个 B2B 是做得很强我们跟中国广泛的这些出口商基本都是中小企业有非常强的这个联系。他们很多是做这个就是工业用的产品，但是也有一部分他们是做消费品的。那么这个也可以形成一个非常好的一个飞轮的一个效应，就是加之我们的这个国际物流的这个能力我们可以从 B2B 就是拓展到B2C。那么说回到本季度这个 AIDC 的这个非常好的业绩表现，我想也充分说明了这是阿里巴巴不同这个业务集团之间这个协同效应确实在这个奏效。因为就是 其中一个很大的原因就是得力于我们这个物流服务和给到客户的物流体验是不停的在提升。我们现在可以呢提供全球任何地方5日达的这样的服务承诺。那么如果说我们可以为这个远在这个几万英里之外的世界另一边的这个消费者提供高确定性的这样的物流体验，那么这是一个最好的获客的模型。这些消费者呢，他只需要用那么几次之后，只要他的体验是好的，他一定会继续使用啊。我们一方面会继续做好我们这个就是组货供给这方面的工作，另一方面就是不停的这个提升我们这个物流的这个标准和体验，保证客户有非常良好的体验。那么因为我想中国的这个价格是在全世界非常独特，非常有吸引力，所以只要我们做好这些客户一定会继续待在我们这里。
Next question, please.
Thank you. Your next question comes from James Lee with Mizuho. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my questions here. And just one follow-up questions on, cloud computing specifically. And Daniel, can you comment about, obviously you comment about technology, that's super helpful. Can you talk about maybe from a marketing perspective, what verticals are important for you to pursue in the near term to drive the growth of the business and why? Thanks.
好，非常感谢。我想补充就云这一块再提个问题刚才 Daniel 已经介绍了技术这一方面这个回答对我们也是非常有帮助。那我想进一步的追问就是在市场这一方面，你们会优先针对哪些垂直行业来开发你们的应用？你认为哪些垂直最需要你们短期内去这个捕捉，才能很好的带动业务的增长
Well, actually, cloud is relevant to all the industries. But if you ask me which industries we prioritize, I would say actually first of all, I think the internet companies. I think because all the internet companies are digital native companies, and they're supposed to be grow their business on cloud. And so from this part, I think if you look at the history of Alibaba Cloud, we will grow together with the internet company, especially the mobile internet companies in China together. So but I think in this part, I think we still have a big space to penetrate, to help all the internet companies. Today, not all of them are purely digital native, data driven. And even though everybody have a mobile app and have a web page, but I think the level of digitalization and the complexity of their digitalization is quite different. So I think in this regard, we can still work closely with them, starting with the penetration of the cloud infra, and also with more penetration with the PaaS products. I think PaaS service and AI service today. So I think internet obviously is a very important sector, and also financial services, because financial service is a very big industries, and there are many companies, many type of subsectors in this industry. So I think we are also spend a lot of our resources on these, and also we are also develop our services and product services to serve the industries like automobile. Because if you look at the EV companies, and all the EV companies, no matter they're new EV or a new EV, 新势力, or the existing ones, I think pretty soon all of them, they are purely digital driven companies. They are data driven company. So I think we will, generally speaking, I just give you a few examples, but generally speaking, we will focus on the industries with higher level of digitalization, and we will prioritize the industry digital native, or they have a very successful digital transformation, or they on birth, from day one, they are digital native. So this is our focus and strategy. Thank you.
好，那么其实说到云呢，各行各业都将会需要利用云的这个服务。那么如果问到说哪些是我们的优先级的话呢，我觉得首先就说应该是互联网公司。中国的这些互联网公司很多都是所谓这个数字原生带的这样的公司他们也基本都会依托云来增长他们的业务。如果回顾呢阿里云的一个发展历史的话，可以发现我们就是伴随这些中国的互联网公司尤其是移动互联网公司这个共同这个成长起来的。那么虽然这样说，但是依然还是有很大的空间进一步的来渗透，因为并不是所有这些公司都是数字原生的虽然都有这种数字应用其实每个公司它本身数字化的水平也不一。那我们可以进一步就是利用我们的语音基础设施，还有我们的 PaaS产品，包括我们的人工智能 AI 的服务，去进一步这个来渗透这个产业的。那么除此之外的话呢，另外一个很大的产业机会就是金融服务，而且金融服务里面还包含很多的这个子产业。那么因此的话呢，我们也在投入很多的资源来开发这一方面的这个业务。那么还有一个就是汽车行业我们也在为它呢开发很多的产品服务如果看一看这些这个就是电动车辆的公司，包括这个现有成熟的，包括这个新生的这些势力，那么基本上他们都会迟早都会变成一个数据驱动的这么一个公司。那么以上举的都是一些例子。那么总体而言的话呢，我们的战略我们会侧重于呢要么是这个数字原生的这样的企业，又或者是呢有非常好的这种数字转型计划的这样的公司，这些会是我们这个下一阶段的优先级。
Let's invest the last question.
Thank you. Your next question comes from Jialong Shi with Nomura. Please go ahead.
谢谢接受我的提问。然后我想问一下这个电商业务，想请教一下管理层怎么看我们这个下半就是这个 September quarter 我们这个淘宝天猫的这个电商业务的这个DAU 包括这个收入的增长情况，这是第一个小问题。第二个小问题就是我们看到这个6月份这个 quarter 好像淘宝天猫的这个利润率同比的话是有一些下滑。然后我也看到就是在我们这个淘宝天猫里面，这个利润率比较低的这个猫超和天猫国际的占比是上升了，所以可能会导致这个整体的利润率下滑。我不知道除了这个原因之外，就是说有没有其他原因导致这个同比利润率下滑？怎么看这个淘宝天猫这个未来的利润率的趋势？谢谢。
Thank you. My question has to do with e-commerce, and I'm wondering if you could talk to us about where you see things heading for the September quarter for both Tmall and Taobao in terms of DAUs and revenues. And then coming back to the June quarter, we saw a decline in margin year on year. So if you could please talk to us about margin in the June quarter as well as on Tmall supermarket and on Tmall and Taobao. Thank you.
好，谢谢提问。那我先回答一下猫超的问题。那猫超是一个自营业务，现在利润率是在好转的。同时我们在今年是非常坚定的投入到用户体验上面，我们在20城将会为我们的用户提供半智达的服务。那从现在我们看到，我们提供这些半智达服务的这些城市，无论是用户规模还是订单量以及用户满意度，都得到了非常大的提升。
Thank you. So on Tmall Supermarket, this is a 1P business that we're operating ourselves, and profit continues to improve. This year we've invested very heavily in improving user experience on Tmall Supermarket. As part of that, rolling out half-day delivery service in 20 cities across China. And in those cities with half-day delivery, we're seeing very, very significant improvements and growth in user scale orders and user satisfaction.
另外，电商也是一个商业，因此结果影响的因子是比较多的。我们跟宏观经济以及跟竞争态势都息息相关。
E-commerce in general, as a kind of commerce or business, is affected by a variety of different factors, of course, including the macroeconomic environment and competition.
相对于短期的竞争和短期的增长，我们更关注的是自身长期的发展，以及在长期发展中突破自我。
So rather than focusing on short-term competitive dynamics and growth numbers, we're much more preoccupied with ensuring the long-term development of the company, of the business, and in constantly surpassing ourselves.
因为我前面也讲到，就是面向未来的较大的不确定性和波动性，能力建设就更为关键了。
And as I said earlier, given the uncertainties and volatility that may lie ahead on the path to the future, it's all the more important to be investing today in building our own capabilities.
所以未来的3年一定继续会在用户规模的增长、用户体验的提升、商家生意的提升、商家服务的提升上面会做坚决的投入。
That's why in the next 3-year period, we'll continue to invest resolutely in growing user scale, in optimizing user experience, in helping merchants grow their businesses, and in improving our services that we provide to merchants.
我们在电商领域有20多年的积累，以及我们非常深耕的信心，所以我对未来保持用户规模和商家规模的双领先优势是非常充满信心的。
We have over 2 decades of strong experience and insight in the e-commerce space, and based on that, I have extremely strong confidence in our ability to continue to maintain our dual leadership position, leadership in terms of user scale and merchant scale going forward. Thank you.
而今天的投入也一定会在未来带来收入和利润更大的增长空间。谢谢。
The investments that we're making today will certainly pay off in the future in terms of driving revenue and profit growth. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone, and that's the end of our earnings call today. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me and my team. And thank you. We'll see you next quarter.
That does conclude our conference for today. Thank you for participating. You may now disconnect.